Hey guys, it is Sunday night and I came on here just to do some quick yin yoga. It's just going to be a quick yoga flow. So if you want to come down and start in child's pose, we're going to start out there. Just releasing everything and becoming one with the earth, focusing on grounding yourself here and now, releasing your breath, releasing everything within your body that you do not want. Focusing on your breath work in that pose. Just keep breathing in, holding at the top, releasing out your mouth. Breathing in, holding at the top, releasing out your mouth. Breathing in and release out your mouth. And when you release out your mouth, make it sound like waves crashing on the back of your throat. And then focus on closing your mouth and breathing out your nose, restricting the breath out your nose. Focusing on that, go, and I'm going to return to child's pose. I'm going to focus on that, and I'm just going to sit here in this moment, reflecting on my breath work for a minute. We spend so much time in life, go, 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 and we don't take that much time for ourselves, which can sometimes be frustrating because we don't really know what we need sometimes if we don't take that time for ourselves. I'm going to lift my right arm up and tuck it under. My lower back just cracked. It's a good way to stretch out your back. And then I'm going to lift my left arm up and tuck it under. And then my other side cracked. And I'm just going to do some quick cat and cows. And then I'm going to stretch my right arm out in front and my left arm out behind. So how many times do we spend focusing on what we have to do next in life and not what we should really focus on that our mind or our body is telling us? I feel like if you're not focusing on what your mind and body is telling you, are you really living life? And for some, it might be no, because it's really hard to get into that mindset that you got to be consciously aware of what your mind and body is telling you. We're going to switch our left arm out in front, our right arm out behind. And sometimes all it takes is changing that perspective and focusing on something else besides focusing on everything else in life. So we're going to hold here for a moment, and then I'm going to grasp my right foot behind and hold this pose right here. Then again, focusing on your breath work. Releasing all this out. Still focusing on your breath work and the present moment. And I'm going to go to a downward dog from here. I'm going to walk my dog out, and then I'm going to go to a squat, a low lunge. And this is going to stretch out my inner thighs from this pose. So just in this pose here, lean back and forth, stretching it out. This pose is so good for you, and a lot of us don't get down into the squat pose enough. It's good for your legs, your thighs, your blood flow, and just releasing all the tension in between your thighs. Again, remember, yoga is a breath practice first. So if we are forgetting to focus on our breath work and making it the focal point, it's not about doing the poses perfect or doing, whatever I say perfect. It's about following your mind and your body and your breath work. So from here, I'm going to stand up, half lift, forward fold, stand tall, and then I'm going to side bend to the right, then center, side bend to the left, and then mini back bend, and then a forward fold. And then from here, put your left hand down, twist your right hand toward the sky, gaze follows, and then switch sides, left hand up toward the sky, right hand toward the ground. And then we're going to go into a plank pose and we're going to hold it here. So how many times do we forget that in order to be able to give back to someone or to be able to be productive in life, we have to be able to provide for ourselves. And self-care is really overlooked in today's society, but it's essential. And then I'm going to do a vinyasa. Back to downward dog. I'm just going to walk my dog out. And then from here, I'm going to lift my right leg up. And then I'm going to step it through. And then I'm going to bend my right knee and then lift my right hand overhead. Feel the stretch in your right side body in this pose. And then from here, I'm going to do side angle. So put your right hand toward your right knee. Lift your left hand overhead like a swim stroke. And then you're going to clasp your hand underneath your right foot. And just hold it here and feel the stretch in your shoulders, the stretch in your right leg. And if you want to go into Birds of Paradise pose from here, you're going to lift your right leg up toward the sky and balance on your left foot. And don't worry if you can't do it. Nobody can do it on the first try. And then go back down and back to downward dog. We're going to do those poses on the left side. Lift your left leg up, step it through, pivot and plant your right foot, lean your left hand overhead, and then put your left side arm on your left knee, right arm overhead like a swim stroke, and then tuck your arms underneath to clasp them, and then gaze follows toward the sky. And then if you want to try to do pyramid pose, or not pyramid, Birds of Paradise pose, you're going to lift that left leg up, standing balance on your right foot. And then hold it here for a moment. And then release. And then back to downward dog. From here, I'm going to go into some yin poses. This really isn't going to be like an intense flow or anything. It's just to stretch out. You know, sometimes you're doing so much that you forget to take care of your body, or you forget about stretching or being mindful. This is more of like a mindful awareness type flow. And so from here, I'm going to go into a bear pose. So you're going to lift your knees up off the ground, hold it here. Focusing on your breath work and the here and now, and then to downward dog. Now I'm going to lift my right leg up. I'm going to go into a pigeon pose where you bend your right knee in front of you and then you lean over it. Only lean as far as your body allows you to, and over time your body will allow you to go deeper into this pose. We're going to hold this here for a few seconds. This is a good stretch for your inner thigh, and if you have tight hips, it's really great for it. So focusing on being present in this moment, in this pose. And I think that's what makes yoga so intentional, is how you have to focus on what your body needs right now. And it lets all those issues essentially slide off your mind because you're focused on present moment. And I think a lot of times when we're struggling in life and we're hitting a rough spot, we can only see what we can see unless we alter our environment to see things differently. And that can be challenging for a lot of us because we don't really necessarily understand how that's going to work or what that's going to look like. So from here, I'm going to lift my right leg up. I'm going to lift my left leg under and hold it out like this. It's like a fallen star, but you're holding it with your left hand and you're holding your right arm down, and it's kind of like a balance pose. And you're going to hold it here for a few moments, and then you're going to lift your right leg up, and then you're going to step it through, and you're going to go into warrior 3. So you can lift your arms out in front, or behind. And if you fall out, of course, get back in. And then you're going to twist your left leg over your right knee, bend and twist to the right. Tempo dancer. You're going to feel this stretch in your left thigh. And then you're going to grab your left foot, stick it out to the side, Padangusthasana B, and hold it here for a moment. Feel the stretch. And then reach behind, fallen dancer, dancer pose rather. And then you're going to lean forward and feel that stretch in the back of the leg. And then forward fold. And then we're going to do this on the left side. So we lift our left leg up. We tuck it under. This is going to be pigeon pose on the left side. And we're going to lean over the left leg here. Make sure if you have to do an adjustment so it feels better in your body, you do that and you listen to what your body's calling you to do. And you only lean as far forward as your body really wants you to go. So when we change our perspective, or when we consider changing our perspective, it takes a lot of time to realize sometimes that we're looking at things only through one lens. We're not looking at it through a different view. And changing up your perspective doesn't necessarily come easy. It might require you to go on daily walks to reset your mind. It might require you to focus on what else your body needs or your mind needs that you haven't tried yet. So from here, I'm going to go back to a downward dog. I'm going to lift my left leg up. I'm going to grab my left leg with my right hand and hold this pose here. Remember, you're balancing on your left hand and your right leg. And don't strain your neck here either. Just hold this pose. And then we're going to go back to downward dog. Lift your left leg up. You're going to step it through, and you're going to do a warrior 3. Now, if you want to keep your hands at heart center, feel free. You can put them ahead of you, behind you, whichever way you want to. And then from here, you're going to twist your right leg over your left knee. Twist your arms over. Temple dancer. Sit down low in it. Feel the stretch in your inner right leg. And then you're going to reach your right leg out to the side. Padangusthasana B. Hold it here for as long as you can. And then grab your right leg behind you. Lean forward. Temple dancer. Or not temple dancer. Dancer pose. And hold it here for a moment. Feel the stretch in your right thigh. And then back to downward dog. And then you can walk it out. Now, only if your body is craving this, do it. If not, just do whatever type of pose your body is calling you to do. We're going to go into an inversion. So you're going to put your head down, your feet up, and then your legs up at the sky. And then we're going to lean back to do a stretch for our lower back and stretch out your legs. You're going to lean only as far back as your body allows you to go. And then you're going to sit up, and we're going to go into deer pose on either side. So you're going to tuck your right leg in, your left leg goes behind you. Lean forward over the bent legs. Releasing all of that Ujjayi breath. Focusing on what your body is craving in this moment. Now, if we don't take time in life to release and let any of the negativity out of our life. It will consume our mind, and we will forget that what we think in our mind becomes our reality. And sometimes we think that, our life isn't going anywhere, or we're stuck in a rut. And that's not necessarily the case. You need to tell yourself positivity in life to be able to visualize it and to be able to see it. If you only tell yourself, I'm not going anywhere with my current situation, or I don't have any hope, then that's how it's going to be. That's how the mind works. So be truly intentional with what you tell yourself, because it is crazy, the mind, what it will think or do. So from here, I'm going to go sit, and I'm going to do a forward fold. First, I'm going to pull my legs toward me or my shoulders, and then release. And just hold this pose. It's good for your fascia. And just releasing into this pose is important. The yin poses are just as important as the strength building poses. And then from here, I'm going to go into a bridge pose. So you're going to put both your feet firmly on the ground. You're going to lean back, and then you're going to lift your lower back up. And I'm going to hold it here for a few moments. And then if you want to go into full wheel, you're going to put your palms with your fingers facing toward you down and hold it up like this. And then release. I'm going to do a supine twist to either side of my body. And then whatever poses your body is calling you to do. If you want to do an inversion, lifting your legs up in the sky, you want to do a butterfly pose, which is good, feel free to do that. Well, this concludes my yoga practice for tonight. I know it wasn't anything crazy, but thanks for joining me. And I hope you are mindful of what you are telling yourself, and you remember to reset your mind to have clarity and better perspective on things. And I hope you enjoy your week. Namaste.